For good performance, each hammer in the piano must move smoothly with similar resistance and no wobble. The center pin must stay firmly in the hammer's bird's eye and not wander out of the bushing. The swing test is the traditional way to test the resistance of the action center. Hold the flange vertical and lift the hammer shank horizontal and level. Release the hammer and count the number of times the hammer changes direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 to 7 swings is usually considered ideal, but some manufacturers have different specifications. 1, 2. Ooh, this action center is too tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, we can keep counting for a long time because this action center is too loose. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a little bit more. In addition, the hammer must not wobble in its flange, and the pin must be tight in the bird's eye, with rotation in the cloth flange and not in the bird's eye. A pin that is loose will eventually travel out of the flange. This is what a traveling pin looks like, and you can feel that it is too loose in the bird's eye. Begin by selecting a hammer to repin. Test it for swing resistance and also for wobble. Center one side of the bushing over the hole in the plate and use the center pin pushing tool to push out the pin. If it doesn't come all the way out, use the pliers to pull it the rest of the way. Set aside the hammer shank, and now we'll just work with the flange. Here's another view from the top. This time I push the pin all the way through. These brooches were designed by Don Menino and are called Menino brooches. Starting with the smallest brooch, try fitting just the tip of the brooch into the bird's eye. Work your way up the row of brooches until you feel resistance. You want the pin to be firm in the bird's eye, so try going up one size larger from the size where you first feel resistance, and leave that brooch on the table. Select a new pin of that size and test it in the bird's eye. You want it to have a firm fit. Set the flange on the table with the pin still in the bird's eye. Take a moment to feel the length of the brooch. Notice there's a rough place near the handle. This rough place can be used to remove tiny amounts of wool from the bushing to enlarge it as needed. Now, insert the brooch into the bushing, sliding just enough to get it on the smooth part. Hold the brooch level, lift the hammer up to horizontal, and drop it and count the swings. Okay, we need to get a few more swings, don't we? So we pass across the rough place, rotate the broach a few times, and test again. We'd like to get about 7 or 8 swings when it's on the broach. Okay, that's pretty good. The new pin has a point. If you don't align the parts, you can damage the bird's eye when you push in the pin. Remove the pin, replace the flange, and align the parts using the little pushing tool. Now you can replace the pin. And press it in on the metal plate. Hold the hammer in your hands like this and shake it a few times. Now, and we can see that our flange is too loose. Okay, we remove that pin. And step up to the next pin size. Be very careful not to drive that sharp pin underneath your thumbnail. I'm pressing very hard, but notice how my thumbs are clear to either side of that bushing. I'm going to show this clip again because it's very important that you understand, don't drive that sharp pointed pin underneath your thumbnails. And we test again. Let's shake it. Test again. We have 5 swings. Just a little more. 3, 4, 5. Clip the pin down and away from your eyes. Test with your thumbnail to make sure the pin is firm. Hold the flange on the base and feel like this to make sure it doesn't wobble. There you have it.